It's my birthday today, so I just got inspired to do a couple lessons for you. I don't even, a lot of times when I do these lessons, I think, well, what am I going to teach today? Sometimes I have a specific song in mind, and other times I think, well, what inspired me along the way? What were the things that were game changers for me? And one of the game changers for me, and I talk a lot about this, is how we get from one chord to the next. Sometimes I call it connective tissue or special sauce. But I think that's, especially on acoustic, that's what differentiates someone who's a beginner, which is fine. We're all there at some point, right? To someone who's a little bit more intermediate or advanced in that, not so much in a flashy way, but in a way of able to express themselves in a certain way, in a deeper way. And I think this kind of stuff I'm about to show you is part of that. The whole metamorphosis of going from just strumming, like nothing wrong with that, by the way. That's cool. But I also like to be able to articulate to an extent, like, because it's almost like a lyrical thing. You get some voicings in there. From an E minor up to a G, but I have a passing chord along the way. I'm doing a D chord with what we call slash chords, and the slash chord consists of an F sharp note in the bass. So rather than having just a D in the bass, which you hear a lot, or an A, that's a slash chord too. Anything other than the root note, that's a straight up D, right? So how that applies to this is when I know you heard this a bunch, but when you're crawling up from an E minor to a G, what can you do along the way? There's a train station, a couple little stops on the train you can do that sound really cool, and it sort of weaves it all together. So it sounds like this. The sound of that. And now I'm going to take it really slow and tear it apart for you. So you got an E minor, just straight up E minor. One of the easiest chords on the neck of the guitar. We talked about that before. Not like playing an F or a demolished chord or whatever. That's not what we're about today. We're about simplicity. The second chord, though, is a little bit more of a stretch. You're essentially playing a part of a D chord, but I'm using my third finger on the second fret of the G string. My pinky picks up the third fret of the B. We're not going to worry about the high E for now, okay? But I am going to strike the second fret on the low E string, which is an F sharp note. And that's a great sound, I think. So if you can, I know it's not easy, you might have to strum it, and that's okay. Whether you do it with the flesh of your thumb like I'm doing it now, or you do it with a pick, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you're hitting these notes. And if you pick up the D note, that's fine. You can even pick up the A if you they all work. Yeah, that's fine. So it's just a slash chord. It's a D with an F sharp in the bass. And then just a G chord. Now whether you do a G like this, with the third fret on the B, or just do a straight up G I recommend using your pinky on this one though. This version of a G chord. So you got 3, 2, 3, 2, and then the pinky on the third fret of the E. Now if you want to voice this one, that's cool. Or alternate it. So I'll show you how that looks. So once again in slow motion it would be, okay, you got that one, right? Second one sounds like this, okay, which is nothing more than get that second fret of the low E string. It's a D with an F sharp, and then either straight up G, fine, or either one. again, slow motion. And then lock it down again. So those are your bass notes, okay? So once here's what it sounds like in slow motion, and then I'll give it a little more tempo. Now in fingerpicking, you don't have to though. You can strum it too. However you feel it. Or you can just go and then stage you hang out in your G. And start over. Okay? So if you take it and you go up and down, I think it's actually kind of a cool exercise in dexterity, because you know that move from the E minor to the D with an F sharp is not the easiest move in the world, but it's one that I'd like you to get under your fingers, because it's not that much of a stretch, and that's why I would really recommend that you use your pinky on this one, because you don't want to go and then start moving like this. That's a lot of ground to cover. You know, instead, let's make it easy on ourselves and just jump here and then get that third finger on the second part of the G and pinky here. Even if it feels a little awkward at first, that's okay. And then why not just keep that pinky there, don't even move it, and go to a G. Well, look, I'm not hardly doing anything. Look. Not too bad. And I'm just going to let that ring. See, I'm letting that ring back down. And if you want to do it finger style, I'm not going to get into this finger picking thing, because I've got a whole mess of courses on how to do Travis picking and all that, the down, down, up, up, down, which is just most basic of finger picking patterns, but it works so well in something like this. I don't want to spend too much time on finger picking, but I mainly wanted to show you the connection between the E minor and the G chord, and how you can rise and fall with it. And really, that's almost a whole song unto itself, you know. Hey, hey, hey. You can do a quick change if you want. You can stab it, you know, you can do a quick change. But, you know, experiment with that. So whether you're doing just a straight up rhythm in time like this, which is I recommend tap your foot, you know, setting that groove is the main thing. Make sure you stay steady on that. Make it swing a little bit. Okay? So now I'm going to take you out with this. I'm going to do a couple different things with it. I like to do this at the end of each lesson and show you where it can go as we advance. So. that's kind of my style of acoustic guitar, especially with the Americana vibe, or whether it's blues, you know. I'm really a big fan of the finger picking thing and finger style, but again, if you're playing with a pick, nothing wrong with that at all. If you're playing with the flesh of your thumb, my wife does that, that's cool too. So I hope you enjoyed that little lesson, and happy birthday to me today. And again, thanks a lot for your support. I appreciate it. Hit me up on my website. We'll see you down the road. Aloha.